Okay, let's look at one very important concept, that is scope of variables. Now we have been using variables within the same function, right? And we have not really been using the blocks on their own, blocks of code. We have been using them more in terms of a sequence of codes within a for loop or a while loop, but not block on its own. Okay, so variables will have different scopes, basically, which means that the value stored in that will be different depending on where they have been initialized. So let's look at what I mean by that to illustrate the scope of variables. Okay, so now let's start off. Hash include iostream.h, hash include conio.h, and here we are going to declare two functions. So f void g. Okay, so we have declared two variables and we are declaring a variable. Remember, this is all is happening before the main function. Okay, so int x is equal to 10. So now I start off with void main. Now can you guess what is the scope of x equal to 10? It's basically global kind of thing. So anything that you define before main is treated as a global variable. Okay, so now within main I'm going to say x equal to 20, right? So now if you think about it, there are two x's. One is within main, one is as a global variable, right? So within main. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to create a block. See, it's a block of code. It is not part of any for loop or while loop or anything like that. And I'm going to say x is equal to 30 just to distinguish them. Okay, and I'm going to display. So cout in a block inside the main function, right? And that is x. Okay, so end l. Okay, now outside this block I'm going to say cout in main function. In main function, okay, x is equal to and I'm going to say x is equal to x. Okay, and end l. Cout in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say before main, right? Before main function x is equal to, and to refer to that I'm going to put two double colons, and I'll say x and I'll say end l. Okay, now I'm going to call function f, and I'm going to call function g. Okay, now naturally now I have to define g and f, both of them. So here I'm going to say cout in g, x is equal to x is equal to x end l. Okay, and then I'm going to say void f and I'm going to say int x equal to 40 and cout in f x is equal to x and l. Okay, now let's run this just to make sure that there are no errors. Okay, now I'll just say get ch, because it actually ran but it didn't stop, it came back here. Okay, see here in, okay, I need to clear the screen, otherwise it's going to be confusing. So clear screen, let's run this. See, in a block inside the main function, right, inside a block, so x is equal to 30. In main it is 20. Before main it was 10. Within f of x it's 40. But in g, see, in g we have not assigned any value, we have not created any additional x. So here when I use the x variable, it is utilizing this x, right, it is utilizing this x, so which means it should be 10. Yes, so g of x is 10. So g of x is 10. So here this is called a global variable because it can be referred to from anywhere, right? If there is a conflict between this variable and a variable of the same name within that context, then in that case we need to use double colon. Okay, now this is in main, it is 20. Inside the block in main it is 30. Okay, so just to confirm, have a look at it. In a block inside the main function it is 30. In main x is 20. Before main it is 10. In f of x it is 40. It's a local variable. And in g it is again the global variable which it is displaying. Okay, so it's now one of the things that I would like to emphasize is as far as possible avoid using global variables, because these can be manipulated from anywhere. Now the programs that we have been writing are very small programs, but in really professional softwares there will be lots and lots of code, lots and lots of functions. So sometimes what will happen is you will make changes to this variable from God knows where, from which function, and if there is any error, it would be a big problem to figure out where exactly the problem is coming from. So it is highly recommended that you avoid using global variables. Okay, this is local to the block. This is local to the block. This is local to the main. Okay, this is local to the function. Okay, so keep these things in mind when you are using variables. Okay, let's save this program. Let's save this as scope itself, scope, and say scope var. Okay, right, and let's quit.